When I was a kid, I had an idea in my head about how life would go. Maybe not my entire life, but I definitely had a clear expectation of myself for how the next few decades were going to go. Back when I was growing up, there was definitely a general stereotype for young adults in their 20s. I remember thinking of that era as the opportunity to travel, have fun, and meet people. Maybe start climbing the corporate ladder and start building a 401k. Hell, I always thought that I would have a house by the time I was 30. Times were different. I even had a goal for myself. I wanted to visit 30 countries by the time I turned 30. I'm 27 now, and I only have 4 under my belt. I still got time. But seriously, if you can't already tell, I am not where I thought I would be at in my life at this age. I feel behind. I think it's easy to blame things for that. I've looked at my circumstances, people around me, opportunities I took, or opportunities I've missed. I've also taken a hard look in the mirror at myself. I always felt kind of behind in life. I was a smart kid. I dedicated myself to some things, slacked on others. I always have been kind of an ambitious guy. I knew I had big goals and big ideas, but I am also indecisive. I could never really make up my mind on how to achieve my dreams, and I really think that held me back. And I also believe that my upbringing held me back quite a bit. I grew up in a household with a lot of expectations. There was a way I was told to live my life, and as I got older, I realized I wanted to live my life in a different way. I spent a long time being torn between expectations from others and expectations for myself, and I didn't really come to terms with that and really free myself from it until I was about 23 years old. And 23 is young, but I saw everyone else already working towards their goals, and I felt like I was just starting fresh. In a lot of ways, I was. So yeah, I think I really could assign portions of blame here and there and own up to a lot of it personally, but in many ways, things are the way they are. Not everything was in my control. They still aren't. I've been thinking a lot lately on how I'm not where I want to be. I expect better of myself, and sometimes the idea that I'm not in control is a comforting feeling, and that can actually make it worse. If I'm doing the best I can and still coming up short, what else am I supposed to do? A few years back, I remember my parents scolded me for being behind, not having a good career or not being in a relationship, something like that. I told them I'm still discovering myself, and their response was, "You should know yourself by now." I think kids in their 20s shouldn't be expected to have it all figured out. Life moves fast. A lot of things come at you all at once after high school. I don't think it was my intention, but when I look back at my 20s so far, I would say that I've learned a lot about who I am. I try to remember to be grateful about where I am and what I have achieved. In a lot of ways, I am where I wanted to be. They say life isn't a race, and I think they might be right about that. Things are tough out there, and the era of social media really makes it easy to compare your own journey to everyone else's. But comparison really is the thief of joy. And what I'm trying to remember most is to compare myself to the man I was yesterday or even a year ago. I think 2020 me would be damn proud and maybe a little bit jealous of where I am today.